Hey, good morning. This is Joe Pici, and this is Tactical Thursdays, where I help you gain the skills you need to move ahead with your business and your career. And I've got a special item here today because I think it's something that affects all of us. How do we maintain productivity through the holidays? And let's think about this work-life balance thing. You know, when I work with my clients and they come, for business coaching, it's fascinating because almost 100% of the people who come to us, when we map out their year and their productivity throughout the year, what we find is there's a huge drop-off at the end of the year. And when Joe and I can help them fix that, they can increase their income the following year. And so here we are, it's December 1st, and we are officially in the holiday season. Yes, we're going to be pulled in a million different directions. And if we're not careful, we're going to be, the tail is going to wag the dog. We're going to end up spending way too much time on holiday things. Hey, Nirmala, we're going to spend way too much time on holiday things rather than being productive. Productivity is what we're after. Hey, Annie, how you doing? So I'm going to talk about a couple of these things because here's what happens. If you allow the end of the year to sag, productivity-wise, whether you're in business for yourself or you are working for a company, if you allow that to sag, it has a direct effect on how much money you're going to make next year. It's fascinating because here's the mindset. People start around the week before Thanksgiving. People start putting it into a lower gear. You know, we're going to be doing this, we're going here, and we're going to see Aunt so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. I got all this cooking to do and shopping and what have you. And I'll get to this right after the first of the year. There's this mindset of I'm going to take care of these things right after the first of the year. You know, I've got some other, we have some fun things and this, that, the other thing. We're going to be traveling and this, that, the other thing. And I'm going to get to after the first of the year. You know, whatever it is, I'm going to get to it after the first of the year. So what happens is momentum slows down. And when you lose momentum, man, you are losing so much. And the first of the year finally comes. But you're not, you've lost that momentum. And so it's about the third week of January before you really start to put it into gear. And it's February before things are starting to happen again. You've lost a huge chunk of your first quarter. So things aren't as great in your first quarter, but then by the second quarter and the third quarter, things are going well. And then here comes the fourth quarter again. So I want to give you some tips. I'm not a real organized person, so I need tips because I can get distracted, whoop, squirrel, in a heartbeat. So let me start. There's 5 tips I want to give you. And the very first one is plan your month. Today is the first of the month. And I want you to plan your month in a lot more detail than you normally would. For instance, most people will say, well, my daughter's dance recital is on this date. Or we have this event, for my, a organization I work for, this month. Or, this day, this day, this day. And so you'll put that on there, and it's going to start at 6 and go to 8. Okay, it goes from 6 to 8, but it really doesn't. Because you said it's a potluck. And you go, oh, I'll bring something simple. Let's see. I'll bring my 5-layer, hey, Dan, I'll bring my 5-layer taco salad. That's easy. But you don't plan, you don't put it on your monthly plan of how long it's going to take you to not only make it, but put together all the ingredients. So here's what happens. I don't know. Maybe you're more organized than I am, but this is what happens to me. The day of the event comes and I look at my calendar, it's tonight. Oh, I think I said I was going to bring something. Oh, yeah. Taco salad. Okay, that's no problem. That's easy. Oh, no, I don't have the right kind of cheese. And oh, no. So I've got to, on the way home from work, I got to stop off. I got to get to the grocery store. And oh, no, I got to take Sally to her recital. Blah, blah, blah. And I end up way behind the 8 ball. So the way I want you to work your calendar is reality. Let's do it with an idea of reality. How much, that's you. Yeah, Nirmala. Okay. Yeah, well, I've got friends out there. Start thinking about how long it actually takes you to do that. See, I bring home gifts. Okay, let's say I went out and I did some shopping and I brought home gifts. I go, yeah, I'll get them wrapped sometime. We don't think about how long it takes to actually wrap gifts. We don't think about the amount of time it takes to travel to the party and travel home. And that's all time that is going to be lost. So start off with, thank you for the thumbs up. Start off with a real plan. Okay, what is actually going to happen? Hey, Suzanne, good to have you with us. So the actual amount of time you're going to need for all these different activities. The second thing, and I think this is really critical, is decide how many hours a day you're going to work. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, you have a more flexible schedule. What we say here is you get to pick the 20 hours a day you get to work. But your schedule's a little bit more flexible. And oftentimes, entrepreneurs will kind of put it in a lower gear. Decide, I'm going to put in 8 hours a day and then stick to it. If you work for somebody else, they're paying you. Hey, Joe Pons, if you're working for somebody else, they're paying you for the full day. And you need to be engaged for the full day. That's being honest with your employer and with yourself. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're in sales, you've got to decide, I'm going to work X number of hours a day. I'm going to make X number of phone calls every day. I'm going to try to get X number of appointments this month. See, this is another thing. People say, oh, nobody wants to sit down with you. You can't get in front of anybody over the holidays. That is baloney. Baloney, Oscar Mayer baloney. Because people tend to have a little bit more give in their schedule. Okay, they tend to think of these kinds of, this is where they want to catch up. And Joe and I, every year we've been in business, we've worked straight through the holidays. You never see the Peachies off on a cruise somewhere or something like that. We work straight through the holidays because people can get some time off. And lots of times people come in for our sales training, our speaker boot camp, disc certification, whatever. They come in for that over the holidays because they have a couple days off from work. So these are times when you can get a lot of appointments, especially if you're marketing something like insurance, what have you. This is a good time of year to get a hold of people. So you've got to change that mindset. The third thing on planning, under this planning idea, is plan for free time so you don't feel guilty about it. I'm putting in X number of hours, and then we're going to have family time. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm going to cook. I'm going to bake Christmas cookies with my grandchildren. Whatever it is, plan for it. But include everything. Include the entire amount of time it takes you to do something, and then double it. Because somehow it always takes me longer than I expected. All right. And the overall idea here is realize that during the holiday season, we do more stuff, right? I mean, there's parties, there's this, that. So realize that if we are doing more, if there's more to be done and there's more activities, then there must be less of some other things. This is a big mistake people make in planning. They think that I'm going to do all these extra things while I'm doing the full schedule that I normally do. You're going to have to find ways. I'm going to the party. That means Cinderella, has to do something else during the day. So a couple things is look at how much time you're spending in front of the television, how much time you're spending on Pinterest or things of that nature. Something has got to give. And it cannot be your work schedule. It cannot be what is producing income for your family. That has to be a non-negotiable through the holiday. So other things have got to gain less importance, less time, less attention if you're going to have the time to do all these other things. All right, so that's the first thing, planning your month. If you will take an hour and really work that out, I promise you it's going to reap huge benefits. Number two, instead of managing your time, manage your energy. I've had to learn a big lesson on this year. You know, I've been struggling a little bit with my energy level. And this is a really critical item. First of all, decide what point in time of the day are you most productive. Oh, I'm getting some love. Thank you for the love. Sometimes you have to decide, am I a morning person? Do I do better in the afternoon? Do I do better in the evenings? Some people, you know, that they'd rather work straight through the night, things like that. But decide which part of the day is your best part of the day. Hey, Matt. And make sure that you are doing your highest income producing activities then. Shopping is not an income producing activity. Okay, just so you know, baking cookies is not, decorating the tree is not. Your highest income producing activities have to happen during the period of time during the day that you have the most energy. Manage your energy. Decide if I have to have 3 appointments and morning is my best time, I got to get these things done before I start looking at recipes for, fruit cake. All right. So also, all right, here's another, and if you like this, share this broadcast. When this comes out, share this broadcast. Another item when we talk about energy is watch your sugar intake. You're going to be at the office and there's going to be donuts and Christmas cookies and gingerbread men and baklava and all kinds of delicious things. And most people, when they eat sugar, they get some energy and then they kind of come down into the sugar coma of I'm not getting much done. All right, so we've got to be very careful about that. So if there are cookies there and it's the lunch break, take a couple cookies, but save them for 4 o'clock in the afternoon. When you're having that kind of letdown, the cookies will give you a little bit of an uplift and get you home, get you to finish out the day, get you home, and then you can have dinner. Or save them for after dinner. And some people say, well, Dawn, I don't like to save them for after dinner because that makes me fat. They're going to make you fat. Cookies, it doesn't matter what time of the day you eat them. They're never a diet food. So be really careful with your sugar intake when it comes to your energy level. Okay. Number 3. Okay, I'm doing good for time. I learned this one from my mother-in-law. She worked full-time and had a perfect Christmas. Well, kind of a perfect Christmas. And the number 3 tip is take the easy road whenever possible. Now, let me explain this. My mother-in-law, she worked all these hours, and we had the best Christmas at her house. The food was fabulous. She'd make homemade, monogot and everything else. I mean, it was fabulous. And I used to look at her and think, how did she do this? Because I'm running around like a chicken without a head on, and she was busy, but she was in control. And then I watched, and I realized that my mother-in-law really only worked hard 2 days of the month. She worked hard the day before the holiday to cook the food, and she worked hard the day of the holiday to serve the food and clean up and all that. And yet, nobody ever felt like it wasn't the perfect Christmas. And this is what she did. So I sat back and I watched this. At Thanksgiving, she would go to the store and buy, lost reception, hopefully you'll post replay. Okay, yes, I always post the replay. What she did was at Thanksgiving, she would buy a holiday tablecloth and she'd put that out. And they'd put up a small tree, okay? Lots of times they didn't put lights on it. And she sat and she did her shopping out of catalogs. And she did her, and she would buy beautiful Christmas cards and she would sit at night while she was watching some television and she'd write out her Christmas cards. She probably had them all in the mail before December 5th. And she knew what she could do and what she couldn't do. And she didn't try to be Martha Stewart. You know, we've got to kill this idea that we have to have this perfect Hallmark Christmas. We don't have to have a perfect Hallmark Christmas. Christmas is about people. You know, Martha Stewart will not be knocking on your door to see if your Yule logs are stacked properly. So realize, you know, it's kind of sitting back and going, you know, this doesn't have to be perfect. I remember I had a friend, it was the week before Christmas, and she decided she needed to sew placemats and all these things. I said, why are you doing this, Diane? It's just, well, because, you know, my house looked just so. This is the wrong time. Sew your Christmas placemats back in June, all right? The week before Christmas is not the time to do it. So take the easy way out, and I'm going to tell you something here really important. When you take the easy way out, shop from individuals you know are in direct sales companies. I keep everybody's catalog. And at the holiday season, this is when I go to those catalogs, and I'm going to call some of these gals and guys and shop from them, whether it's a candle, whether it's makeup, whether it's some doodad for the hair, jewelry, whatever it is, some little stocking stuff or whatever it is. I'm going to shop from those guys and gals who are in direct sales for two reasons. Number one, I want to support their business. Number two, they have a very good feeling about me for the whole rest of the year. I mean, I can buy this thing at Dillard's or Discount House or wherever, or online, but I don't get any return on my investment. Be thinking about that. So I always shop from my direct salespeople, and it's the beginning of the month. As long as you get your orders in before the 15th, most of them, they'll come in time. You'll have your stuff. I highly recommend it. But take the easy way out when you can. Number 4. This is a hard one for me. You got to avoid multitasking. They've proven that multitasking, you don't get as much done. It's better to block off, you know, a section of time and work on one project, all right? So instead of sitting at work and, you know, doing a little bit of your LinkedIn or what have you, and then, oh, let me do a little online shopping or something. Don't do that. Carve out time. If you're going to do some online shopping or shopping out of catalogs, take an hour at night and do that, but not during prime business hours. That's where, you know, a lot of people are tripping themselves up. And also, this multitasking thing is not a good deal. And I have to smack myself all the time with that. Finally, number 5. Oh, hey, Susie. Number 5, and I think this is one of the things that most people neglect, and that is give yourself a gift. Give yourself a gift. Thanks for the thumbs up. This is really interesting. We run around and we do all these things for all these people, and we forget that this is our holiday too. And go someplace that you've always wanted to go. Or spend a day by yourself. Or do a hobby that you really, really enjoy. Or, you know, buy that gift. That's something that nobody else ever buys for you because they really don't know that you really want that. Okay? Get it for yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Here's one that I did that was one of the best things I ever did. I used to cook a Christmas Eve dinner, fish dinner, and then I would cook a Christmas Day dinner, which was lamb. So we had fish and lamb. And it was big, you know, to do all this stuff. And one year, we were getting to the holidays, and it was really busy. And I looked at my husband and I said, you know, this Christmas Eve, could we do something different for dinner? He said, sure. I said, could we do takeout Chinese? And the whole family went, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do takeout Chinese. It was so relaxing. It was so relaxing. It was such a wonderful Christmas. Something as simple as takeout Chinese. So be thinking about things like that, little places where you can help yourself and give yourself a gift. So as we put this all together, the most important thing, if you're in business for yourself during this month, is to not let up on your intensity or your productivity. to continue working in your highest income producing areas, to decide what time of day you have the most energy and make sure you're working your business during those hours. Make sure that you make a pact with yourself. I'm going to do my business X number of hours every day, and you don't break that. If you will do that and then make everything else fit around and cut out the things that aren't necessary. If you can delegate something, delegate it. Delegate it, because you've got other things you need to do. You're a business owner, or you are working for a company and they are paying you a full day's pay. We coach companies, and too often they'll say, if we don't hit our numbers by the 15th of November, we're not going to hit them. Or if we're not within a certain margin we're not going to hit them, because the activity just goes way down with our staff. So give your employer a full day's work. Number one, give yourself a full day's work every day. Fit these other things around. You don't have to be perfect. Give yourself a gift. And I hope you have a fabulous holiday season. Share this with folks. Join me next Thursday. I'm on every Thursday morning at 10 Eastern. And also Joe is on Periscope on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. And if you want to connect with us, here's some of the ways you can connect with us. You can catch me at Dawn at Pici Peachy. I want to know what topics you would like me to discuss. I'm making my plan for next year. Oh, Suze, thank you. You always look great. Thanks for that. We're making our plans for the topics we're going to be discussing next year, so send your cards and letters. Keep those cards and letters coming. Keep those email posts coming about what you would like us to cover, because we want to help you gain that unfair advantage over your competition. Take care. Have a great week.